She lifted her glass first. To his new king, she toasted, her laughter sweet and sharp with cruelty. The others followed suit. 5 women I'd known for years, clinking champagne flutes like a death knell. My wife stood at the head of the table, arm looped around the man beside her. Daniel, my former business partner, my best friend. The divorce papers sat between the dessert plates, still warm from the printer. This was calculated. The restaurant was ours, the same place where I had proposed, where I'd promised her forever. I looked at them, our friends, her co-conspirators, the ones who smiled at me for months while they knew. I didn't raise my voice or flinch. I signed the papers, pen steady in hand. Thank you all, I said, calm, sharp as glass. Their laughter faltered. They thought I would break. They didn't know I had already done that months ago. We met 12 years earlier in that very restaurant. She was a force, red-haired, fierce, magnetic. I was the fool who thought I could hold on to her. We built everything together, our firm, our home, our little empire. I trusted her completely with the finances. She said she liked the responsibility, and I trusted her too much. Then the cracks appeared. Late nights at meetings. Her phone always face down. A scent of perfume that wasn't hers. The first lie came easily. The second sounded rehearsed. By the third I stopped asking. I began observing instead. The truth landed in a careless email. Daniel had forwarded a proposal meant for me. But beneath the signature, the note was not for my eyes. He'll never see it coming. Love, once he signs, it's ours. I stared until the words blurred. I didn't yell. I didn't confront her. I backed up the email, printed it, and locked it away. That night I kissed her forehead while she slept and whispered, "Thank you." 'Cause finally I was awake. Revenge is not fury. Rage is loud, messy. Revenge is deliberate, precise. I started small. Quietly. First, a shell company, an exact copy of our firm's investment arm. She managed the transfers. So when she moved the new client funds Daniel promised, she funneled them straight into my trap. Every dollar she thought she'd stolen ended up in my hands. Then I met with her lawyer. He owed me favors. I drafted new ownership papers, filed them discreetly. When she tried to claim half the company in the divorce, she discovered she owned nothing. Finally, I rewrote my will. Everything that looked valuable on paper went to her. Debts, taxes, fake assets. The real accounts were moved offshore under a new identity I built from the pieces of the man they thought they had ruined. By the time she served the papers, my empire was secure. But she believed she had won. I wanted her to celebrate her imagined triumph. Which brings us here, the anniversary dinner. The restaurant hummed with quiet wealth. Candles flickered. Her hand rested lightly on Daniel's knee, just enough to be visible. She wanted me to notice. I could almost admire the performance. I lifted my glass, meeting her gaze. "To my queen," I said softly. "You've outdone yourself." Uneasy laughter rippled around the table. Daniel's smile faltered. Perhaps he noticed the staff's furtive glances. Or the man at the bar wasn't just a bartender. He was a federal investigator. Earlier, I had sent an anonymous tip detailing Daniel's insider trading, AR's forged transfers, and the money trail connecting them, complete with timestamps and her signature, of course. When they raised their glasses, the agents walked in. Daniel Rowe, one of them, said, "Alla Carter." Silence fell. The clink of handcuffs replaced laughter. She turned to me, eyes wide, confusion bleeding into fear. "What did you do?" I smiled faintly. "Just signed what you asked me to." The agents led them out past the tables. Strangers pretended not to watch. Her friends sat frozen, champagne trembling in their hands. I sipped mine. Tasted like clarity. Later, they found me outside under the awning. Rain had begun, the night smelling like iron and freedom. One officer nodded. "You knew this was coming for a while, didn't you?" I shrugged. "You can't stop a storm, but you can build around it." He almost smiled. "You played well." I said nothing. 6 months have passed. The papers called it a financial scandal, not a love story. That's fine. They never noticed the quiet parts, the nights rehearsing calm, the days pretending not to know. She writes from prison sometimes, confused by how perfectly it fell apart. I never reply. Daniel took a plea, 2 years, maybe 3. He'll be out first. That's fine. I left a message in an offshore account, a single transaction in his name. It will look like he hid money unknowingly. She'll find out. They'll destroy each other trying to survive. Sometimes I drive past that restaurant. The window seat where it ended is still there, candlelight flickering the same. People talk about closure like it locks a door behind you. Doesn't. It's a slow exhale, a quiet silence where noise once lived. I didn't seek revenge out of hate. I did it for balance, for peace. When she raised her glass that night, toasting her new king, she was right. She just didn't know who he really was.